Okay, we are live with more game dev. Let's do the Pokemon Black and White 2 OST today, maybe. Okay. It's been a Pokemon kind of week, so... Alright, so let's look at our to-do list. We got a lot of stuff done last time, including the last, even slightly complicated things to do. So... Let's make some notes. Stress and discipline. Battle rewards. Let's say XP, bullion, stress, etc. Hey Ellie, welcome to the stream. Conditional attack checks for the player. That's another thing to do. And tournament UI reset, which is part of battle rewards. So essentially there's 3 areas of the game left to work on for the demo. Honestly, if things go well, we might not even have a full stream tonight. So let's start with the conditional stuff. Let's think about how we handle that. So first, let's go through and make note of all the conditions we've added, right? Most of these moves are just have no conditions. So Talk Dumb Get the Thumb has Condition Desperation. The player character does not have access to the move. This is an Iguanodon signature, but we want to make sure it works anyway. Then Death Roll requires Bleed. Screw Dyspepsia. Fair enough. I forget which thing that was. Every time I hear it, I think of the Negative Land album. Dyspepsy. Ah, stomach condition, yeah. That sucks. Stomach stuff's no fun. Hey, Mutasaurus, welcome to the stream. I should have realized that from the pap, Pepto-Bismol, that kind of stuff. Same root words. Condition. Can make sleep a thing of the past. Yeah, that I'm familiar with. Not being able to sleep. It's been a rough week for me. Not because of any medical conditions, just insomnia. Thankfully, I haven't had it every night. It's like taking a night off in between a couple of bad bouts, so I'm not doing that bad, but not gonna be here for very long. Just want to hang out for a bit. That's totally fair, Muto. With luck, we won't be here that long either, because we only have 3 things left to do in the demo. So let's go to the combat script. Let's look at the attack. Actually, no, it's under... Yeah, none of the checking is here, because the checking is only under the enemy AI, which is why I have to implement it for the player. Condition check. Which might actually be in the other scripts. That actually might be in the combat scripts. Yeah, here. I'm just going to copy this to my notepad for reference. Then I think we should also, in the to-do list, probably put down some code housekeeping type things. So, general code housekeeping. Separate out functions. I don't know why I'm capitalizing all this. Functions into smaller script, smaller related script files. Actually consider global, let's call this global in quotes, global functions versus object-specific functions. Also consider a general, let's say, review of global variables and where they're initialized. Also, further fragmentation of functions into smaller pieces is good, as some of the combat functions are bloated. Let's say combat functions have become bloated. Okay. Alright, so this condition check takes the name of the attack and then just checks for the condition. Okay, so this does not work in reverse, which is one problem. So this condition check function is in the combat AI, but is coded in a way where it's specifically, it's in the regular combat function, but it's coded to only be a condition check for the AI specifically. We had a natural habitat for your Amargas, cohabiting with Dread and Patagon just fine now via modding. Solid. I think if I feel up for it, I'm gonna do a big thought experiment maybe on how to rebalance cohab and how that relates to like the research tree unlocks. But I don't know. I'm not feeling particularly ambitious about JW3 modding right now. I just kind of, I don't know. Not sure if I want to dedicate the time to doing some of the things I would like to do for modding the game. Just unfortunately, it seems like a lot of the technical mods for JWE3, or even JWE2 for that matter, don't get that much attention. People are always just looking for like new animals and new decorations and stuff, and like if you're looking to do any tuning with like the core functionality of the game, it just doesn't seem that popular. It just makes it question if it's worth all the effort, you know, to figure things out. But I'll definitely do the research tree mod, because that's mostly done anyway. Which reminds me, I probably need to... Amarga's out, right? It's properly out. I need to actually update my mods. I should make a note of that, too. And update dig site randomization on Nexus, too. Maybe I'll do that. If this finishes early tonight, maybe I'll try to do that tonight. So here's what I think we do. I think we take this condition check function. We just make a new one. And we put that in the attack, maybe? Wetland requirements battle. Yeah, wetland feels overdone. I think, here's kind of my take on the habitat requirements. I think when you give kind of every animal like the same set of requirements, just in different proportions, it's a bit lackluster. I feel like it'd be much more interesting if there was like a sense of biome to different animals. Like some animals want trees, some animals want wetlands, some animals want nothing. And separate them out that way instead of having it just be like, oh, they want everybody, pretty much everybody wants all of these, but only some of the time. I think looking at environmental requirements could be really interesting too for a mod. I assume that's controlled in the databases and stuff too. Prehistoric Kingdom, basically. Is that how Prehistoric Kingdom does it? I couldn't remember. It's been a little while since we played. If that's how Prehistoric Kingdom does it, I think it's a better system, probably. Or keep the trees and the grassland requirements the way they are, but then just like cut down wetland. I mean, wetland should really feel like certain animals are wetland animals, which is how it was in like GW2, right? Most animals had no wetland need, if I remember correctly. Unless I'm crossing wires on some other need. I don't remember. What are my thoughts on the Amarga? I haven't played yet since it came back. I think it's a good inclusion for the roster. I think it's like a great... Yeah. Spinosaurs and concavenators are wetland only. Okay, that's what I thought. That was what I was thinking. Yeah. So that's a substantial change going into 3 from 2 for rebalancing the animals, the wetland needs. Hey, Rogops, welcome to the stream. But yeah, I think Amarga is a great... it's one of the best animals they could have brought back early on here because it was a huge gap in the roster having no small sauropods. I think honestly the next animal they should bring back, other than the fact that there's a general lack of pterosaurs and aquatics, is Euoplocephalus, because the Ankylosaurid roster feels really sparse. Like, I really think we need another Ankylosaurid soon. So, these change sprite based only on distance currently. So the sprite changing color is not connected to the internal code actually knowing whether or not you can do the move. So we'll have to add something completely new here for the condition check. I think we should get a Rhinosaurus back because your bias barely have any African species. Yeah, I think a Rhinosaurus is high on the list too. I personally put like Euoplocephalus or another Ankylosaurid ahead of a Rhino, but it's like second on that list pretty much. Also, it's a canon animal, so it's really weird that isn't it the only one missing? Isn't Tyrannosaurus technically the only film canon animal if you count the TV show that isn't in the game currently? That's a pretty glaring miss. But yeah, Crichton could be good too for an Ankylosaurid. Ali, definitely another valid option. I'm definitely a Euoplo enjoyer more though. And Euoplo is novel canon too, which is a big point in its favor, in my mind. I don't think we'll still get a DLC this month. I think if there was a DLC coming in March, it'd have been teased already, so... I'm thinking early April, maybe. That's my personal thought, but I have no basis for that. That's just rampant speculation. So I guess what we do... Yeah, the UFO's in the novel, but you never see it, so it's really easy to forget about. It's only on the population charts. Same with Styracosaurus. Oh yeah, I suppose Pachyrhinosaurus, because yeah. I meant not just canon animals that are missing in general, but that were into Unknown and 3. Stegosaurus also. Tyrannosaurus isn't the only canon one. I don't know why people were saying that, because Stegosaurus is still missing. Yeah, Styrac and Hypsea are also from the novel. So yeah, missing Pachyrhinosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, and Stegosaurus for canon animals that we had in 2. This music has played so many times in your Pokemon Showdown matches. Yeah, this is Pokemon Black and White 2. That's today's soundtrack. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon this week because of the new ROM hack that came out, so... How do we implement this? I think we just do... Maybe I should just clean this function up here. Or AI only. Yep. I'm just going to duplicate this function. Because we just duplicate it anyway, I might as well just make it a separate version of this. Let's just call this condition check player. Is it not like an underscore? No, it's just saying that it isn't used. Don't let Nintendo know about it. They're good with music. At least. Oh, the ROM hack? The ROM hack? Yeah. I mean, they don't really do anything about ROM hacking. They don't like fan games. Like, if you make your own Pokemon game from scratch, even if it's a free game, they good odds they'll try to take it down. It's happened in the past. But as far as I know, they've never gone after a ROM hack or a mod. I saw the Dualisaurus post. Yeah. Interesting. A little baby Thessalisaurid, potentially omnivorous. I only skimmed the information. I didn't look through it all. But I listened to the audiobook for Jurassic Muto. It's a solid book. I feel like Jurassic Park falls apart a little bit near the end of the novel, in my opinion. But it's still a good book. Still very interesting. Been roughly a year and you haven't bought a Switch 2 yet? Neither have I. I'm not going to buy a Switch 2 until Gen 10 is out. I ain't touching it. I have no reason to. And if there's any manufacturing flaws and they come out with a revamped version or whatever, or an upgrade to the manufacturing process, then a later one would be better. Because that's what happened with the Switch 1, right? Early Switch 1s are janky. Would I keep Dualisaurus as a pet? We don't really know how big the adult gets, right? If it's just a juvenile, so they could be 12 feet long or something. Probably not with a hatchling that size, right? I would keep any dinosaur as a pet, just for the opportunity. Okay, so let's go through this. We have a condition. If the effect is cleanse, set check. So why do we have 3 separate logic flags here? Actually, is this move actually a condition? I don't think it is. I think this cleanse thing is actually AI code that's embedded in this function for no real reason. This is probably the weirdest track from that game, the second gym, with like the live music. Yeah, this is not an actual condition. You are allowed to click this move as the player, even when you don't have a negative status effect to clear. So this should not actually be forced off. So this shit goes away. This doesn't matter. So yeah, we can actually rewriting this whole function makes sense. So if requires bleed and the enemy is bleeding, yes. If requires desperation and the player HP is below the threshold, and then if condition none, so yeah, this is just keep the logic check, strip out this check. This goes to, just simply return the logic. So if check, or if it's a none. So this almost always returns 1. There's 2 attacks that make this return 0. Should this be done in the opposite? Probably not. Will the dually source appear in the final game? Probably not. It doesn't have enough of a niche. But who knows? Like, we're a long ways out from that. Anything could happen. Also, I want to do like a Kickstarter probably at some point when the game is closer to being finalized. Some fairly low tier Kickstarter, not asking for much. That'll allow people to also like influence the game development a little bit, like pick some animals to put in the game, that kind of thing. So, what dreamland species do I want to see in the game? What do you mean by dreamland species? Alright, so this should work. So I'm going to copy this to my notepad and erase the full AI check one. Why not Patreon like Prehistoric Kingdom? I mean, Patreon could be a thing too. I mean, I have my own Patreon already, so... I mean, ultimately, any kind of financing I do for the game is going to depend upon if I recruit a second dev to work on it, or multiple people to work on it as well, because then it's going to be partially a decision of multiple people at that point. So I'm currently not too concerned about financing, just because I'm not at that stage yet. Every game has to have a cute and marketable mascot. I mean, true, but maybe not. Everything could just be cool. My eye. Trying to say is the most unlikely species. Oh. What is the most unlikely species I want to see in the game? In JWE 3? Or in my game? Because in my game I can just add it, so that doesn't make much sense. In JWE 3, I want to see prosauropods, I think. I guess the prosauropods are likely though, right? So unlikely, I think the most unlikely animal that would make it into JW3 that I'd like to see would be like, honestly, Procompsognathus, because it's in the novel. Even though it's super redundant with Stegosaurus and Coelophysis, and they'll never give us a third Coelophysoid. I wish they would. Yeah, Mosaurus and Plateosaurus should be in the game for sure. I think they have good odds of getting in. I'll be genuinely shocked if we go very long without seeing a prosauropod in JWE3. Like, JWE2 introduced all sorts of new things over the lifetime of the game, right? We got Therizzinosaurid for the first time, Dinochyrid for the first time. We got our non-dinosaur land animals in the form of Dimetrodon, Lystrosaurus. Obviously, a lot of those are from the movies, but they're still like very unique creatures that were introduced. I'd be surprised if we didn't get something new. At least in terms of like animal type, kinda. You know what I mean? You will eat somebody's liver if Rugops never gets in. Yeah, we need a new Abelisaur. It's been a long time. I think the only argument against a new Abelisaur is the fact that we'll get a Mahjong variant eventually. But like, I would love to see a paleo-accurate Abelisaurid, because we don't have one. Both the Mahjong, well, the Carnotaurus is obviously from the movie, but the Mahjong is very Jurassic World coded. It's not bad. I like the Mahjong, but like, it's not perfect. Yeah. Okay. So we do, I think we just intervene here. We do condition check player, passing along name 2. This should be the one that is searched for. Yeah, so it should be name 2 if we're searching for it here. We'll just call this C check. If range 1 and C check. So that will stop the player from using it, and then we want the sprite to adjust itself as well. Hopefully we'll get a word on the past DLC species soon or whatever. I don't know. They didn't address it really with Dinokairos. The only thing we know is that they didn't promise us DLC species in any way. I feel like if they were going to say something about it definitively, they'd have said it back in December. Watch JoJo's Steel Ball Run. Not familiar with it. Don't read much manga or watch much anime. A little bit here and there. I need to get Dinosaur Sanctuary though. I need to read that. So dummy attack is green. Right? Dummy attack is the green sprite. Sprite index original disto. Okay, yeah, because this defaults as red. So we should just do like a condition check. Actually, we could have done the condition check outside of the loop. That's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not very intensive. No reason to apologize. There's nothing wrong with bringing up a show or an anime or something to see if I know anything about it. That's perfectly fine. So I think we just do this and see check. This should be fine. This should work. Okay, and then we go to genetic info. How long do I think GW3 is going to have support for? 2 or 3 years? Yeah, I don't know. How long was the actual GW2 dev cycle? Because you would think 3 would be longer, but I don't know. Because, like, Frontier is not in the same place that we're at when 2 came out. Okay, this page has all the dates. So Park Managers was May 2024. When the game came out in 2021? So like 2.5 years ultimately is what we had for 2. So you would hope we'd have at least 3 with JW3. You would hope each game has a longer life cycle than the last, which is true going from 1 to 2. Yeah, localization definitely can be a problem with not just manga and anime, but like video games. As somebody who played a lot of like JRPGs from like Super Nintendo and stuff back in the day, or early PlayStation, the localization is just so scattershot. Sometimes it becomes a meme in its own right with some of like the Final Fantasy dialogue and stuff from back then. People have nostalgia for like the translations, but they do sometimes take very extensive liberties. Or in the case of like Final Fantasy Tactics, they like tone everything down. They take something that's a little more serious and mature and political and kind of like Wait, really? I got revenue sharing on Dino Crisis? What the fuck? Weird. Why did Dino Crisis get flagged with copyright? Hey Xander, welcome to the stream. What do I do for a living? Am I a professional streamer? Sound very much like a scientist. I am a scientist. I have a degree in astrophysics. I'm currently unemployed though. But my last position was a 2-year postdoc at NASA. So any of the content you see from before June of this last year, I was working at NASA during those videos. Alright, so why is the Dino Crisis video getting flagged? That's the real question. Streaming's never been more than just a dabble thing, kinda. Like a hobby. It's never made much money at all. Maybe $200 ever total, something like that. Maybe like $300 by now. But, definitely doesn't pay the bills. Since when was employment such a pain in the U.S.? Yeah, it's not great. Like I had another job I was in competition for, loosely in competition for. Like I knew the guy who would be doing the hiring by name, so I had my foot in the door for another NASA position. But then fucking Trump got elected, and hiring freezes were a thing that happened, and suddenly the position was pushed back past my end date. So my contract for my postdoc position at NASA ended, and they weren't hiring anybody or doing any interviews or anything for the other position I was looking at, so no job. So now I'm here. I don't know. Like, I might not have got the position anyway, and I didn't do anything to have a fallback plan at all, but, like, it would have been a nice position, working on a satellite, doing some coding stuff. Yeah, it'll take a while for all the animals in 3 to come back at the rate they're coming back, but I mean, maybe that's a good thing. It keeps them. They've sort of made a promise to keep working on the game for a while, right? Okay, why? I'm trying to figure out what is getting flagged. Frozen Paradise by X Hellraiser X? What the fuck is this shit? Okay, hold on. What is this? What is this copyright flag? This is not any. This is nonsense. Oh, this is like background audio. This is literally part of the soundtrack. Believe music on behalf of Hell Cannon Records? What the fuck is this shit? This ain't even real. Song by X Hellraiser X 2025. This is just this is not even real. This is either the algo not knowing what it's fucking doing, which you can't do anything about because YouTube's a joke, or a copyright troll trying to steal my 5 cents that the Dino Crisis video might make. Let's see what the Dino Crisis videos actually do make, out of curiosity. The Dino Crisis videos make about 10 cents a video. So, yeah, they're going to steal 5 cents from me. I guess I just let that happen. YouTube is fucking stupid. I'm going to look into this later. I'm curious about this. All right, back to the game. Could see them cutting some DLC species entirely. I could see it happen too, Rugops. There's too many. Is there some sort of plan for the DLC releases? Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what the Wetlands DLC is the only one we have to go off of. And I don't think we can use the Wetlands DLC as a template because I feel like I believe fully that Dino Kairos is going to be part of the DLC and they just decided to move it to the free update. Yeah, even if every DLC comes with one returning animal, that's still a lot of animals missing. Which ain't great. It also kind of sucks because, like, I'm gonna be real. The males and the juveniles, in a lot of cases, ain't that interesting. So, like, having to sit forever to wait for a male and a juvenile to come out for a lackluster animal, an animal that was already lackluster, is really underwhelming. But I mean, I've made my opinions on juveniles and males and dinosaur breeding known. I mean, I was never a person who thought it was needed in the game anyway. I didn't really have much faith in it being a particularly compelling system, and lo and behold, it's not. Yeah, how many DLC animals are still missing? It's like a good chunk of them, right? Like, we got a lot of notable ones, but there's a lot that we're missing. Yeah, there's a lot of shitty patterns in the game still. There's animals that have, like, awful patterns, like the female Herrerasaurus, that, like, they just took the pattern from 2 and brought it into 3, even though it was absolute dog shit in 2. I wish 3 could have spent a little more time in the oven, and they could have given more TLC to, like, the pre-existing animals, especially the JW1 animals. Like, nobody likes that fucking Herrerasaurus skin. Bring back the other version from JW1, which was great. Like, yeah, a lot of the juveniles look like cartoon animals. This is what I said. They got, like, weird faces. They look stretched. They look exaggerated. The proportions don't look realistic. Like, yeah, babies have bigger eyes. True. But not, like, anime cartoon level eyes. Like, oh god, the male Barbarodactylus. Yeah, that would be really funny if they brought Barb back and the male was still pretty much just, like, a slightly bigger crest or something for the GW2 one. That would be wild. Alright, so we're gonna test this this effect out here. So let's give it, we'll give it maybe death roll. Actually, we should test this fully. So we should do death roll and fishhook. So yeah, let's get the attack info here so I can remember. Actually, we can just do it like this. We can just put it in the attack list. And then we can equip it ourselves manually. Oops. Death roll and fishhook. No, death roll is one word. After Leopleurodon, do you think Barbaridactylus needs a new variant more than any other cut species or animal in general? I think if you did the male correctly, you could sort of salvage the female without like a full remodel. I think. I don't know what they were cooking with the barb though when they added it. It was I don't know. I don't know what they were doing there. Alright, Dinosaur data, moveset builder, fishhook, replacing devour, death roll. We can put fishhook in here too. Alright, tournament, start battle. Game crash, okay. Okay, unknown object dot name to not set. Condition check player name 2. Interesting. Why did that crash exactly? Oh, wait a second. I think I might know why. That wasn't the attack button? Yeah. Pterodactylus gets some TLC when it returns? Yeah. Pterodactylus isn't that bad. You give it a good pattern for the male or something, then I think it's in a pretty okay place. I know some people hate the head crest, but like, I'm kind of head crest agnostic on the Pterodactylus. JW1's arguably the best in the series in many aspects. Is it though? It depends. I mean, JW1 gets points for like being the first, right? Because if you don't have JW1, you don't have any of the other games. I feel like 2 is the most complete package in my mind currently. Because 1 suffers on replayability a lot. Like, doing a challenge mode run in JW1, there's not even that much you can do with it. Like, when we revisited JW1, I planned, like, 4 challenge modes or something I was thinking about doing, and, like, I didn't even do them all, because I kind of saw everything there was to do. But you could argue that it's the best just from the angle of, like, it did the most new stuff, technically. Right? 2 just being an expansion on 1, essentially. Okay, so this crashed because it does not recognize name 2. And that is because I think this right here is specifically the problem. This is on the draw event. Yep, on the draw event. So the problem here is... Because this is only calculated on the button removal. Yep, this is the problem. This has to be copied here too. And that should be it. It should work. I convinced you. 2-1-3. That was pretty easy. I would go 2-3-1. 3. My gripes with 3 are like, it's not quite the game I'm looking for in terms of what it does, but it's the newest, so it has the most room to grow, and it has still, in my mind, more to offer for replayability than 1 does. But it's completely subjective. There's no wrong answer. Like, okay. So, lights up green. Lights up green. Death roll stays red because it's not bleeding, so we can't use death roll. So if we go in for the fishhook, misses. So we want to see if once we fishhook, if death roll turns green correctly. 3 sucks. It's no challenge at all. I agree that it's no challenge at all. But that is not something that can't be fixed, right? That's my argument. Okay, he's bleeding. See if death roll turns green. It does. It works. It's that easy. It's perfectly fine. And like, JW1's not challenging either, right? The one time you can make JW1 challenge replayable is removing the foundation fee tax by modding it. I suppose, maybe. I don't know. I feel like you need that tax. To me, the only one of any of those games that had any difficulty at all was 2. Like, 3 is easier than 1, but 1 is by no means difficult. So 3 at least has more to offer in terms of how you build a park and what you do in that park than 1. So to me, like, there's still some appeal there, whereas I really have no reason to go back to JW1 at all. Challenge mode in 1 is better than 3. Economy balance? Sure, but the fact of the matter is that in JW1, you have no challenge mode parameters. You can't toggle on, like, intelligent dinosaurs or, like, trank research. There's no, like, variable setups for the park. Plus in JW3, well, okay. Okay. Here's the problem. I'm talking about Sandbox right now. This is the JWE3 problem for sure. I'm using Sandbox stuff to try and justify challenge mode balance, and that's not correct. So in that sense, you're right. The challenge mode as it exists in 3, specifically just challenge mode, is the worst it's ever been. Yes. Sandbox picks up the slack for bad challenge mode in 3, but if you're literally just comparing challenge modes, then yes, 1 is better on challenge mode than 3, probably. Even without mods, Zootokun 2 is way more interesting mechanically than any JWE game. Decorations and guest buildings still feel more well thought out. I haven't played it yet, so I can't comment on Zoo Tycoon 2. I do need to play it, though. Oh yeah, Nublar Sorna. I remember that. Yeah, the foundation fees are a little janky on some of the maps in GW1. That's a good point. Yeah, the pre-existing animals make it weird. That was definitely a JW1 problem. The income tax equivalent in JW1 being based on, like, the animals and not actually the money making was, like, really dumb. Really bad game design. Like, the income tax setup is much better. Okay, so all of this works. So that's, check that off the to-do list. That is here. Done. Completely done. Done, but different function than the AI. Kinda sloppy. It's not the most sloppy thing. It's fine for 2 versions of a function to exist over, like, at least for a simple function, it's fine for 2 versions to exist instead of having one function that switches between player and AI, but it would be better if it was probably one function. Out of the 3 games, I think 2 is, you think 2 is your favorite? I think that's fair. I think I agree. I think 2 is my favorite still. But, like, I'm gonna keep playing 3 because it's the one that's getting new things. I'm not going. I don't like 2. Like, the difference between 2 and 3 is not substantial enough for me to go back to 2, while 3 is still new and supported. If JWE 3 stopped getting supported tomorrow, maybe I would go back to 2. Yeah, JW3's campaign mode is a selling point, but I also feel like it's a little lackluster in that it doesn't feel very replayable to me. Like, the non-linearity of it doesn't feel that interesting. Like, it would change it. I replayed JW1 campaign like 8 times, and I can't see myself ever doing that for 3. Not that that's a bad thing either, because ultimately, you know, I'm here for sandbox park builds more than I am campaign stuff anyway. But I feel like the campaign could be better in 3. Like, is that a hot take? Like, I'm not saying it's bad, but, like, they could have done more with it. They could have made it more replayable and more interesting. It feels a little bit on wheels, you know? A little scripted. I like the freeform, like, I like the way JW1's campaign had, like, you know, this is your mission, and you just do the mission at some point, and otherwise you're just building a park, right? Like, maybe I'd have to do a more direct comparison, but I feel like JW1's campaign still might be the best campaign. Well, Return to Jurassic Park was a really fun campaign, too. And some of the DLC campaigns are good from 2, but I don't know. What do I think about Planet Zoo? I haven't played it yet. I bought Planet Zoo like 4 years ago, and I never installed it. I just haven't gotten around to it. Yeah, I don't mind like the characters or like the plot of the campaign. I just, having played through it, it didn't really strike me as like something you could go back to and kind of approach differently like you could with GW1s. That's all I mean by like what I'm saying with the campaign here. All right, let's reset the Carnotaurus info back to base. Custom challenge mode should make a return, 100%. Especially if they're not going to like fix Sandbox, like the broken settings in Sandbox. They can just make challenge mode and fix those settings and maybe up the difficulty a bit. Like challenge mode, custom challenge mode was like weirdly overtuned in JWE 2. Like, if you cranked it, it was kind of insanely grindy. But I kind of respect that it gave you the option. Like, if you wanted a 25-hour, slow, tedious playthrough, you could do it. And so, I think there's merit to, like... I think custom challenge mode has merit to existing alongside Sandbox. Because, like, there's something to allowing you to make a stupidly difficult park build if you want to. I think that's good. Like, I would also like to see expansion packs that aren't just movie-based. I think like a classic campaign doing maybe novel stuff or just doing its own thing could be good. I guess I mean like if it's JP93 then it is movie-based, but it wouldn't be an explicit movie tie-in, right? Like it's not like the Minion DLC is tied into Minion because it was new. We'll get a Rebirth DLC because Rebirth's new. Going back and like doing a campaign just somewhere in the history of the franchise because it sparks the idea of doing it, like, could be cool. Why would you hire scientists that would sabotage you out of spite? Yeah, the sabotage stuff's never been that good. I was talking about this on stream the other day, too, I think, of, like... I think having sabotages tied to the action you took would be interesting, and I think, having just more, like, events, more random events that are tied to what's happening specifically, rather than just being random shit, are interesting. It's impressive custom challenge mode had to be manual add to every JWE game. Yeah, I don't know why it was removed in 3. It makes no sense. Like, it's the same game. The engine, JWE 3 is built on top of JWE 2. All the JWE 2 stuff is still in JWE 3. That's how I turned on random dig sites. So custom challenge mode is in the game. It's just not used, which is crazy. Mutants from Rebirth aren't really compatible with JWE. A little bit, Xander, I can see that. They're much more monstrous than any of the other ones we've had. Scorpius Rex was pushing it, but like, the Distortus is just a movie monster. Same with the Mutodon. The Mutodon, how is the Mutodon even going to work in the game, right? Because it's a terrestrial animal that can fly a bit. Are you going to put it in the aviary, then have it spend most of its time walking around? Are you going to put it out in the environment and just not allow it to fly? Like, how are they going to make it work? Plus, it's just stupid anyway. So, like, the Mutodon's going to take probably a bit of work to justify its existence. It'll kind of be a whole new class of animal. That's just going to be the same ugly piece of shit that nobody likes anyway. So, like, it's a little weird. Actually, we can just leave these moves here. We don't need to remove these right now because we're going to remove all of this at the end here. Something broke custom challenge mode in Evo 2 because now you can just make a park where you block from adding any animal, where there was a failsafe before. Interesting. That's very funny. Lagoons and aviaries are dog shit. They, Lagoons and aviaries fit much more with JWE2's like limited style of building. They are so out of place in JWE3 because of modular building that it's like ridiculous. You really feel how lagoons and aviaries are just copy pasted from the last game. Like the code is just essentially untouched. And that's wild. The fact that pterosaurs don't even interact with objects in terms of hitboxes is crazy. They're literally just ported from JW2. Lagoons, I guess, are a little bit better because you can do like modular building with lagoons, but that's more a case of just like lagoons not requiring much for not much for like actual three-dimensional movement. Like it's three-dimensional movement, but they're stuck in the water, so like they're much more easy to manipulate. Pterosaurs are much more complicated. The Mutodons should just be flightless. Yeah, there's no earth... Like, Mutodons have, I hate the Mutodons. They're probably my least favorite creature in the entire goddamn franchise. I don't know, the Distortus Rex is awful, too. They're both awful. They're both hideous designs that don't belong in the franchise. But yeah, the Mutodon has no fucking way that it can fly with those little stubby wings. That shit takes me right the fuck out of a movie. Whenever there's some creature that flies around and does like shit it shouldn't be able to do. And to be fair, the Jurassic World franchise has never had good pterosaurs in terms of physics, except for the Lost World, where it just lands on a branch. Even that's bad because the feet are wrong. Pterosaurs would not be able to grasp branches, at least not a pteranodon. So like, we've never had a good depiction of pterosaurs in the franchise ever. In Jurassic Park 3, they're lifting up shit they shouldn't be able to. In Jurassic World, they're lifting up shit they shouldn't be able to. Same with the other movies. And then the Mutodons are like cranking up the badness to like fucking 13 or something. In terms of like just complete disobedience to the laws of physics. I really hate it. Yeah, Dino Crisis or Resident Evil creatures, I definitely can see that. What's my take on the final movie and the direction the movies will be going in the future? Rebirth is a movie taken by itself is much more watchable than Dominion, or probably even like Fallen Kingdom. But I really, really dislike most of the new lore added in Rebirth. I hate what they did to the world. I hate the new creatures. I hate the new island. Like, none of the lore angle of Rebirth works for me. Like, Dominion's the opposite. I think Dominion is unwatchable garbage, but I'm pretty much on board with all the lore stuff it does, except for Maisie. I think the Maisie retcon is dumb as fuck. And the crazy thing is it was always intended, apparently, because it's not actually supposed to be a retcon. Apparently, even during Fallen Kingdom, they planned for a Maisie reveal for the sequel that recontextualizes that shit. And I think that's dumb as fuck. I think that's just stupid. The Maisie clone thing makes more sense than the virgin birth shit. But yeah, I would rather watch Rebirth than ever watch Dominion, but I'm okay having Dominion in the franchise compared to having Rebirth in the franchise, if that makes sense, in terms of like consequences. Like, the last movie that came out that I don't have significant reservations about is Fallen Kingdom. I know a lot of people hate Fallen Kingdom. I'm fine with Fallen Kingdom. It's not a good movie, but it's nice looking. It's got some good shots, some good dinosaur designs, some bad dinosaur designs. I'm fine with it. I don't mind Fallen Kingdom. Rebirth is a movie that does not need to exist, nor does it have anything to add to the franchise. Yeah. See, Rebirth commits a different sin than JP3. JP3 doesn't have anything to add to the franchise, but it doesn't step on it either, right? JP3 knows what it is, and it doesn't try to make big swings and change the status quo when it doesn't have anything to say. It's okay just being a little adventure movie on an island. And then Rebirth comes out, and Rebirth doesn't have any significant ideas on really how to do things. And it ends up being this fairly isolated, forgettable adventure. But then it commits the sin of, like, going out of its way to establish and change lore. Which is, like, why are you doing this? Please don't. You love Fallen Kingdom, but you can see why people hate it? Yeah. Like I've said this before when talking about Fallen Kingdom. Fallen Kingdom has the most style out of any of the World movies, and for me that counts for a lot. Visually, Fallen Kingdom is great looking in a way that Jurassic World, Dominion, and Rebirth aren't. Less so Rebirth. Rebirth's pretty good looking at parts. But like Dominion and Jurassic World are bland, generic movies visually. I like J.A. Bayona's directing style. Like, it works for me. So even if narratively Fallen Kingdom's clunky and dialogue-wise it has some bad things, I mean, like, those one-track shots, the long sequence stuff, the opening of the movie, like, that stuff goes a long ways towards making up for the downsides of Fallen Kingdom in my mind. Like, I would rather watch Fallen Kingdom than watch Jurassic World. Because Jurassic World is just not fun to look at. Yeah, I'm pretty apprehensive of where Jurassic World 8 or Jurassic Park 8 / World 5 is going to go, because, like, are they going to build off of Rebirth? It doesn't seem good. Yeah, it would be funny if they just go back to Rebirth Island because they want a cure for another disease. Like, well, guys, we cured heart disease, but now it turns out we can cure diabetes if we go back to the island and find the 3 hungriest dinosaurs and extract their blood sugar. It's just the same movie every time. Alright, let's delete this from the notepad. This is done, this is done. So, battle rewards. Let's look at this code. Why would Myrto be Site C? There should not be a Site C. There was no reason for there to be a Site B. The only reason Site B exists in the novel is because Nublar was destroyed in the book. And so if they wanted to do a sequel, they had to go somewhere else. Making Isla Sorna a thing in the movies was never needed, and it never really should have been done. We should stop having new islands. I guess now Nublar's destroyed, but like, why are we going back to new islands when Sorna exists? Just retcon there being no dinosaurs on Sorna and bring it back. We don't need to go to a new 3rd island or 4th island. Yeah, the D-Rex surviving is crazy. It makes no sense. It's more like slop Hollywood video game logic. Yeah, not a lot of carnage, that's true too. I mean, a few good sequences. The river raft sequence is a standout, but cure for STDs by getting blood samples from the horniest dinosaurs. Yeah. Then with the attention they pay to science in that movie, it'd probably be ceratopsians would be their interpretation of horniest dinosaurs. Make a movie about how they built the original Jurassic Park. I don't think anybody would watch it, unfortunately. I think there could be material there, but I just don't feel like your average, Joe Schmo who doesn't like follow the franchise and is just looking for summer blockbuster to go see would be interested in just a how a park is made movie. Maybe you could do it like a prequel that's got some other hook to it in terms of like what's happening during it, but I don't know. Or at least I don't think Universal would want to go in that direction. I think Universal sees these movies as monster movies, so yeah, I'm not a big fan of Dodgson in Dominion either. Ali, I think I like the character they have in Dominion, but I also don't feel that it's Dodgson. This was my critique. I think Dodgson should have been the right-hand man to that CEO character they made him into, and that should have been someone else. Yeah. People, I also assume a lot of people going to see Jurassic World movies are just looking for a fun dinosaurs eating people monster movie thing. And in that regard, I think Rebirth kind of delivered. I think I have a vague sense that, like, Rebirth did okay in the minds of people versus, like, Dominion. Only the first Jurassic Park had a lower kill count. Most of the deaths happened in the first half of the film. Yeah. I mean, you don't need a big kill count for the movie to be good and, like, exciting. Just look at the first film, right? The first film has a relatively low body count, but is a tense and well-executed thrill ride. But, you know, it had one of the best directors of the current era directing it back then, so that's why that happened. Okay, so how do we do this? So we have the victory screen. So I guess we intervene on the victory screen, probably. Go to lobby, go to ranch. Hypothetically, would I trust Steven Spielberg for the next movie? Sure. If Spielberg wanted to come back, I'd be down. But here's the thing. I'm always willing to let a new movie happen. I am never going to be the guy out there who is like, they should let this franchise die already. I will always, no matter how many times I've been burned, I will give a new one a chance. Because no matter how bad a new movie is, it does not take away the enjoyment I had from the original, and it could be, finally, another good sequel after many years. It's possible. It happened with Predator. Predator had the worst movie in that franchise's history come out as the fourth film, and then had a director shift, brought in a new creative lead, and he put out 3 bangers in 2 years after that. So Predator, even though Predator is not one of my favorite franchises, it is the shining example of why I'm always willing to give a new movie in a franchise I like a shot, because you can get things back on track. You can always have a new, like, 10 out of 10 sequel drop years after the fact. It's possible. And I'm willing to take the chance, always. 100%. All cutting the Tyrannosaurus and Mutodon would do is improve the pacing? Maybe. Yeah. You got a point there, Rugops, that Rebirth does feel like when they went into making the movie, they had the idea of all the water stuff, and they didn't have any idea of what to do once they got to the island. That does feel true. What are some of my favorite franchises? For movies, Alien, Terminator, Jurassic Park. 28 Days Later, Mad Max, I guess. Predator. Those are probably the big 6, I guess. The first 3 more so than the last 3. Definitely Terminator, Alien, and Jurassic Park are my jam. So I think we want to intervene on the victory screen. I think. So all that happens on the victory screen is these, like, pre-rendered buttons. Maybe we can just make these buttons happen? Or maybe I duplicate, maybe I make a new, like, end of tournament screen. Maybe that's the way to do it. Yeah, maybe we do it that way. Let's do it this way. Okay, we go to title. We initialize a new global variable. Global.tournament round. We set this to 0. And then when we go to the victory screen, we increment this by 1, maybe? Yeah, because we're already doing this. So this can be here. Pair outcome. Tournament round plus equals 1? Love the Pokemon music. Love the nostalgia it brings. I think Gen 5 Pokemon is peak. Peak Pokemon. I say this as somebody who started with Gen 1 and didn't play Gen 5 until years after it came out. I fucking love Gen 5. Like, literally my plans for the sprite design for this game are based on Pokemon Gen 5 and the segmented sprites that they have with the animation system in Gen 5. That's literally what I envision for the arts, for the method of sprite animation that I'd like to use in this game. You remember the day where Gen 5 was relevant? Yeah. So, let's see here. We increment this up. This should be all we really do here, I suppose, is increment this counter. And then when we have the condition checks for victory... room go to victory. Global.enemy counter. Wait, what am I using enemy counter for? What is this? What do I use this for? This is probably exactly the same variable. Hold on. Let's comment this out. How old am I? How old am I? Like 39, I guess? I started with red. I remember it vividly. I remember playing Pokemon Red on a Game Boy in a furniture store while my parents shop for like a fucking couch or something. I was just glued to that Pokemon Red cartridge. I'm a decade older than you. Yeah, I'm an old man. Yeah, I think I turned 40 this year. Fuck me. Thanks for the midlife crisis. Okay, if global enemy counter is greater than 1, global enemy counter is -1. Yeah, okay. So this is... We can use this. This is already counting battles. So this doesn't need to exist. Have I seen mountains move? Yeah, I remember when the mountains didn't exist yet. I remember them rising up out of the earth. Ooh, wait a second. No, this might be relevant because I bet you this is started... No, this has to be started here, right? Where is this initialized? No move, PC cooldowns. Global.enemy is enemy counter. If to... Why do I do this? Why am I setting this to -1? Oh, because then it will always increment back to 0. Yeah, so it always loops. Yes. Small gripe about GWE3, no official OST. Those pricks. What about that PC? That's all that the battle layout. Where do I initialize this parameter? Maybe it's down here. Oh, it's down here. Yeah, okay. Which round in tournament? Let's fuck it, I can stay here. Let's just put a note at the top of this in case I get confused by this again. Global variables for tournaments are at the end of this section. Okay. So this ranks between 0, 1, and 2. Yes. So now what we just do is we go to victory screen. No, we go to here. Global enemy counter plus equals 1. So we do the, if it's 3, it starts at 0. Wait. Plus equals 1 here. Gen 5 was black and white? Yeah. Black, white, 2 white. Black 2, white 2 are fantastic. They're like probably the best games in the series. Like black 2, white 2, like they reuse part of the map, but they make a lot of changes and introduce a lot of new stuff. And they're just like a better version of black white in terms of like encounter variety and quality of life features. I think they're my favorite Pokemon games. But again, like I wasn't around for black white release cycle, so I didn't have an opinion, you know, at the time. Also, I have actual cartridges for like black and white 2, and I didn't pay money for them. I inherited them, so. Not like death inherit, but just like, I don't want these, do you want them? Yes. Give me your cartridges. People keep saying that Benjamin Netanyahu is dead, and one day you hope they aren't trolling you. Alright. Yeah, I have, something like 12 different Pokemon game cartridges right now, and I only ever paid for 2 of them. Like the other 10 or so were all... No, that's not true. I have Switch ones as well. So I probably have more than that. But I only bought directly Gen 2, Gen 3 cartridges that I have, but then I inherited all of my Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 6 cartridges. Because my sister was going to dump them at a thrift sale for like $5 a piece or something. I was like, you're nuts. Give me these. So maybe I did pay for them, actually. I don't know. Because she probably would have just given them to me if she was going to try and sell them. Maybe I just paid $5 a piece for them. Which is essentially nothing with how much they're worth now. Try to get into Pokemon, it's not your gameplay type. Totally understandable. I only play Pokemon with like house rules. I only do Nuzlocks. I never do regular Pokemon runs. So I'm not even playing a Pokemon game ever the way it's intended to be played. So I fully understand not being into Pokemon, because by some people's arguments, I also would not be into Pokemon. Gameplay-wise. If I have to add rules to it, am I actually into the base game? So this starts at 0. We go into the battle. And then it goes +1 when we get to the end, and we go to the victory room. Right? And so we're on the victory room. No, it's used in the lobby. Which only resets to -1 if this is 2. So this resets to 0. Here. See, I don't collect Pokemon. That's the thing. I've never played Pokemon to collect them all, right? So having variety across multiple games and there being like 1,000 Pokemon is just kind of an upside for me. If I'm looking to Nuzlocke a new generation, having new Pokemon to Nuzlocke with is good. I understand for people who don't like it, but I don't have a problem with it. Sometimes maybe they overdo it on how many are added. I'll say that. Yeah, I'm not a catch-em-all type. I'm literally only a Nuzlocker. Permadeath, limited encounter runs is the only way I play Pokemon. This is kind of sloppy, but this is fine. So we finish the battle. It increments to 1. Oh, and this happens before this. Yeah, the timing of this is very awkward because it'll increment to, it'll go to -1 here and then increment to 0. This is very bad. What is more important to me, gameplay or graphics? Gameplay, completely gameplay, 210%. I don't give 2 fucks about graphics. The only place I give any considerations about graphics is like shooters, particularly VR, and that's about it. If I'm playing an RPG, I could not care less. Most of my favorite RPGs are old games like Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy Tactics, Fallout New Vegas. I like pixel art. I like abstraction. I like roguelikes. I like indie games. Completely, like 100, like 1,000,000% it's gameplay. I think Balatro is like one of the best games of like the last 10 years. That's just cards. That's just poker. Like visually. This is awkward. We're in the 3rd battle with this flag set to -1, then incrementing +1 on battle win to get back to index 0. What the fuck was bro cooking? Okay. Clear Obscure Expedition 33. Fair. I have it. It was bought for me for Christmas. I have not been able to find the time to play it yet because I want to do a playthrough on YouTube for Clear Obscure. Right now I'm doing Star Wars Knights of the Republic on the other channel, so I don't have like the time to do... I don't want to do 2 RPGs at once. So I don't know when I'm going to get around to playing Expedition 33, but it might be after KOTOR, it might be after KOTOR 2. I kind of want to do back-to-back KOTOR runs. Yeah, pixel art is great. Underappreciated art form. I wish Pokemon never went 3D. Pokemon games have never looked better than Gen 5. With those like gorgeous animated sprites. So, we want to intervene here. Increment for the next fight. Go to victory. So, is this the only instance of enemy counter in here? Yeah, so this is the one spot where this happens. Hope they bring the KOTOR remake to consoles. I would assume they would. Most of the Star Wars games have gone to console, right? We're getting both a remake and a new sequel, right? These are separate games. I haven't been following the development too closely on it, but the fate of the Old Republic is different than the KOTOR remake, I'm pretty sure. Which is kind of nuts that, like, after all these years, there's probably 2 more coming. I think we can just do it like this. If global dot enemy counter equals 0. Oops. Oops. Else go to victory. So, and then we just make a little note here about why it's 0. This is dumb, but this value returning to 0 here signifies that this was the end of the final round in the tournament. KOTOR 1 and 2 are your favorite games as a teenager together with Guild Wars. I also played all of those things. A lot less Guild Wars than the KOTOR games, but I did play Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2. I was more of a World of Warcraft player, and then I spent some time in the Old Republic MMO too when that came out. And I dabbled in a few other MMOs at the time as well, Warhammer Online and shit, Age of Conan. If you were a dev, you'd develop your game for PC first, then move it to consoles, assuming they can handle it. The problem, here's what I understand about console development, right? When you're developing a video game with any intention of going to console, if the game has any... If the game is pushing the boat out technically at all, then you like really have to be aware of the limitations of the consoles when you're developing it. Like, you can definitely do something like Balatro and then just port it to consoles without too much effort. But a large, involved game, it seems to become very complicated to retroactively decide you want to go on console. But I generally, that's my approach to game dev, is like, I am only concerned with PC. I have no interest in consoles personally as a gamer, really. Like, I have a Switch, but like, it's just because it's the Pokemon machine. So, for me, it's 100% like, the only way I would make a console port for my game is after the fact if it's worth justifying. And I would not plan for it ahead of time as well. Yeah, I like KOTOR more than I actually like Star Wars. Like, for me, Star Wars is like the Knights of the Old Republic stuff and Andor. I don't really care that much about the movies, even though that's maybe heresy, but like, I don't hate them or anything, but like, I'm not a huge, crazy Star Wars fan. Like, I've seen all the movies. I've seen the original trilogy multiple times. Like, I like it, but I don't, like, adore it the way I do, like, KOTOR and Andor. Consoles just suck nowadays. I mean, there's that, too. Room go to... Let's call this, like, tournament end or something. Tournament outro. And then we go to rooms. Create room. Tournament outro. And so there should just be a 2-ranch button somewhere in here. One thing I hate about modern media is changing a character's gender and skin color. Like, why can't you create your own character? I think it's fine. I think a valid... I think it is valid when you are doing a readaptation of a piece of media to change aspects of the characters in that media. I don't think that's a problem. Hey, Primal Gamer, welcome to the stream. Because, like, to me, like a reboot or a retro, like a... Not a retro, a legacy sequel or something, it's kind of readaptation. And when you adapt something, you change things. Like, if it's ideologically driven and they want to just focus on that and it's just trying to earn brownie points, sure, it sucks. But, like, I think it's fine to change it. Even if you don't have, like, a good narrative reason for doing it, you just feel like it, that's fine. Yeah, reimagine it. You can reimagine something with different characters. It's probably better that you do, right? Like if there's a crappy, like, reimagined game or something of a game I love, and they change all the characters, and the game is bad, then who cares, right? Whereas if they do, like, a reimagining of a game I love, and they use the same characters and they make them awful, then maybe that's more annoying, that they've, in some way, tarnished the classic characters, right? I don't know. Spitballing here. I think the thing is like sometimes when they like gender swap or like race change a character, sometimes it's done out of the like it's what is the term? There's like a term for this. Rainbow capitalism, right? They're changing it to try to appeal to people in a cynical way. And sure, that's bad. I think people who generally support these kind of changes would also agree with you that that is bad. But in other cases, it makes sense with some sort of change to the narrative or the world that they're doing, or just to be more inclusive because the original property was 30 years old and wasn't very inclusive. And I think that's fine. Like, the problem is that some people can't see the difference between the two, and they lump it all together. And they just see it all as, like, agenda-driven stuff. Well, it depends if it's changing it for the sake of it. Like, I don't think it's racist. Rainbow crabitalism. I think if you, as a creator, are readapting a property and you want to change the race just for fun, that's fine. If you are readapting it and you change the race because you think it'll make more money, that's cynical. And if you are readapting it and you change the race because it's relevant to the new narrative, I think that's good. That's basically my take on it. It can be good or bad. Yeah, exactly what you're saying there, Primal Gamer. If the change is good for the new game or the new piece of media's narrative, then that's great. If it's for absolutely no reason, then yeah, maybe it's not great. It definitely becomes much more nuanced in that case if there's no actual driving force for the change. Like, then you start to look at it and you gotta think about, is this cynical? Or is this agenda-driven? Or is it just because they felt like it? And it becomes very hard to tell which one it is. It's fine if you prefer that it be faithful. I mean, I'm just giving my take on it. I personally don't generally care much for tradition or, like, I just don't like remakes and stuff anyway. So, like, honestly, I'd usually prefer that if anything was being remade or readapted, it has a reason to be different. I don't want to see the same story again with, like, updated shit. So, like, by all means, change anything you want. Yeah, and it's a chance to see more interesting and varied characters, like Rugops is saying, too. Especially with some older games or older pieces of media, it can be very white. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't really care that much. I'm a white male. None of this shit affects me. I tend to take the point of view that I should let the people who representation matters to decide how they feel about representation. Right? When they change the color of a protagonist of a video game for a new generation, that is not being done for or against me. That doesn't really affect me. So I should not be out here having a strong opinion on it. That the people that's done for should be the ones who decide if it's done for good reason or bad reason. That's my take. So, on the victory screen, I think we can duplicate this, maybe? And then this is our new one. Because we want most of this information still here. But also we want the stuff for the end of the thing. Movie remakes bother you, game remakes, sport window probably. Yeah, I'm much more of a fan of like a remake that is a different medium, right? If you remake a movie and then you make it a TV show, fine. If you take a game and you do a reboot of it as a movie, fine. They're usually shit, but fine. I think changing medium is where it is better. Sometimes I also support like if you're remaking a movie that was made like a long time ago and couldn't really achieve what it wanted to, I think that's good too, right? Like the Thing remake, right, from the 80s. Fantastic example of taking a concept that was already done as a movie a long time before that and saying we can now do this in a different way that is better than it was done before, and we're going to do it again, but we're going to push it further out. Yeah, we went from Black Man to Orange Man in the White House. It was pretty impressive. So, global.tournament array entrant equals 2. So these... Okay, wait. We need to set these still here, right? Yeah. Shit, do I want to do it like this? I don't know if I want to do this as a... Because we might want to look at the tournament brackets. Yeah, I think I'm going to not do it this way. Yeah, I think I want to intervene differently. We're going to redo this. I think we delete this. Because I want to be able to see the final roster first, I think. I think the funniest thing done in media is queer characters aren't visibly clear they're queer. Like, why bother with that unless it's a punchline to a joke? I mean, in current era, there's like some efforts made to like kind of cover up things that were planned before Trump got elected in media and kind of pave over it, which is sad. If you're going to do it, believe in doing it, right? Mega Man X to Maverick Hunter X. Not familiar with Maverick Hunter X. I don't think I've ever played a Mega Man game, but I'm pretty familiar with how they work. But yeah, that's an interesting way to do a remake, is to kind of flip the script on it. You're off, Xander? Alright, catch you later. Thanks for coming by the stream. So yeah, I think we just actually don't do this. So this is undo all this. I think having a separate screen is less good. Okay, so what we're going to do instead is we're going to intervene on the lobby itself so that you can see the final results of the tournament. So what do we do then? We go... And we're going to delete this room. Because that doesn't need to exist either. Have I played a Kirby game? I have. I had, I can't remember the name of it. I had one of the Kirby games on Super Nintendo. One of the Super Nintendo Kirbys. That's probably the only Kirby game I've played. And I don't remember which one that would be. And I'm talking like on Super Nintendo when Super Nintendo was the thing to have. I'm not talking like recently. I'm talking back when I was a little kid. Which is why I don't remember it. Probably Superstar Dreamland 3, yeah. That sounds right. I was gonna say like a Dreamland was coming to mind. But I wasn't completely sure that I just hadn't heard the title somewhere else, so I don't actually know if that's the one it was. Okay, these debugs don't need to be here anymore. Let's clear these out. So here... Wait, no, we want layout? Because, wait. No, lobby layout is the correct thing. Yeah, Maisie being a simple clone was just, it was cleaner. I don't understand, like, all the changes made to Maisie's history in Dominion didn't add anything to the character. They just made it more confusing. And it was such a pointless change. Also, just everything about the notion that they needed her for, like, her DNA was very silly. It made no sense. Like, it actually was completely comical that they needed both Maisie and the Beta Raptor together, which made no sense. You dislike Gunner games because they don't appeal to your specifically societally frowned upon fetishes? Fair. Understandable. Your opinion is valid. So we're setting the enemy. These are the coordinates for the tournament array. Okay, so I think what I want to do is say... if global enemy counter equals -1, then we turn off the button to go back, or to go to the next round, right? So we do that in the go to battle button? Battle start, yeah. So there'll just be a go to ranch thing. So battle start turns off. And we go here. We go... global enemy counter does not equal -1. Oops. Because now the counter being -1... No. Wait. That doesn't work. Free mobile games are cringe by actual price mobile games. Generally, yeah, but that's more of like a... how that market's evolved and the actual fault of the concept. This doesn't work. How do I implement this the way I want to do it? This value initializes at 0. Let me draw a little mind map. Scratch paper. Make sure it's not a paycheck. 0. And then we go to a battle. So we're in the lobby. This code fires. It sets the enemy to 0. The battle gives it a +1. So then it becomes 1, and we go back to lobby for battle number 2. And then it gets +1. And then we go back to the +1 from the battle, and we go back to the lobby again. And it's 2. So yeah, this is the first time, second time, third. So the third time back, it's at 2. And then it goes to -1, and then we enter battle. Love to stay, but you gotta go. All right, catch you later, Ali. Thanks for coming by. So there's never a window. This number resets here sooner. I can't use this. Wait, maybe I can use this? Wait, I think this does work. Because these exist simultaneously. So if it's a continuing check, it should be fine. Because this will be... No, wait. No, because this is -1. No, this doesn't work. Yeah, this doesn't work because when this is -1, we still need to be able to hit the button. It's when we come back that needs to be disabled. When we come back, it's back to its starting set, which is 0. Okay, so we do this. We do Golbot tournament status. We flag this to 1 for a completed tournament. Flag to show that tournament is done. And then global.tournament status equals 0 is generated. Let's keep the comment on it. That is generated when you click the button to go to the tournament. Go to tournament button. Global.tournament status equals 0. So now we're in a tournament. Yes. So we click the button to go to the tournament, the parameter is 0. And then once we initialize the final round, essentially, then it's set to 1. Which breaks because we could go back, but no, because we'd always go return to the tournament by resetting it. So it works. If we leave, it will always reset on coming back anyway. The problem is conceding doesn't do anything functionally. It just lets you leave without penalty. Maybe we should... Well, no, conceding should be in, though. Maybe we do it like this. Global.tournament status flag. Yeah. And then when we return to the ranch, that's where we handle stress? Yeah. So that would be to ranch. Room go to ranch. Add stress handling here. So We have to have stress handling for any circumstance where you like drop out, right? Which includes the lobby, which uses the 2 ranch button, the victory screen, which uses the 2 ranch button, and the tournament. Wait, what is the difference between these two? One of these is a defunct version of the other. This one is nothing. Yeah, this is a dead thing that we don't actually use. Okay. We should delete that probably, but now I don't want to delete it because I forgot it was there. Okay, so that should work. We don't have to do any intervening here. But so now we do the battle start button. We do if global dot, oh, I forgot what it was called now. Tournament status. If global dot tournament status is 0. Go to battle. If tournament status 0, go to battle. And then it becomes 1 right before... Oh, fuck. It also doesn't work. Okay, so we don't do it in that check. Yeah. Okay. I understand where I want to do it. I know what I want to do. I got it exactly figured out. We don't do it here. We take this, copy this out of here, and then we go in here. We do put this in the combat script at the end of battle. Here. Actually, one step above that, here, we go if global.tournament status flag to 1. And the if check is if global.enemy counter absolute equals -1, signifying that we just came out of the final round of the tournament. This is the conclusion of the final battle. And then this re-increments it back to 0 for the next tournament, essentially. Next fight or next tournament if at -1. Flag to show that the tournament is done. Condition check -1. This means this was the last battle. -1 means this was the last battle. Okay, that's good. That works. Flag to 1. Then, if the flag is at 1, the battle start button turns off. I.e., you can't go to battle because the flag is not 0. And then we go here and we go if global tournament status there should be a way to turn this invisible. Well, we just get sprite info, right? So let's go to here. Object get sprite layout. This. Same thing works. So it turns invisible. This may reset automatically, actually. I don't actually know. Should reset to visible in second tournaments? Invisible object sprite, so button doesn't spawn, which is effectively the outcome, but the button actually does exist, it's just invisible. It doesn't do anything. Technically, I guess. Okay. Let's test that. Oh, I got a crash. Create event, battle start, global variable name, tournament status, not set before reading it. Oh, wait, what? Oh, I know, I think I know what happened here. This button exists already. But is also created in that room? Wait, no, this should have been set by the ranch button. Wait, well, yeah, why did this not work? Oh, because this isn't... Hold on. This is different. This is different than the other one. This is return to tournament. This is not start the tournament. Ranch action. If function is tourney, go to room lobby. This is where it should be. Global.tournament status 0. Because the ranch action is different than the other ones. That's the bug. Flag variable for tournament entry. Okay. Tournaments. No, it still crashed. Not set before reading. What the fuck? Oh, it's... Fuck me. It's a right button, left button thing. I have to put it in both. Amateur hour. There we go. Okay, so starts the battle. We'll just spam shit till we die. Oh, range 3 and C. Oh, that's a bug. There's a typo in the attack button. One of these C checks is typoed. Wait a second. C check, C check, C... Yep, here, this one. C check. Alright. Good bug. Well, bad bug, but good that we found the bug. Good bug finding moment. Okay, Devour worked. Let's check range 2. Pick worked. Alright, tournament bracket. Start battle. Run him down. Get in there. Time's running low. Actually, stay back. Maybe just we're floating around in spot 2. Oh no, we got pinned. Yeah, he's doing the big thing. We triggered the panic button. Well, we did win. Cool for us, I guess. Stegosaurus. We got Thegomized. Gonna try and get myself a nice bite of Stegosaurus here with the Valor. Nice. I'm healing. Nice headbutt. He's going crazy. Last second paralytic bite. Hell yeah. Okay, start battle button still appears. Okay, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Battle start. Tournament status would have still been 0, and that would be because we went... Oh, is the other... Never became 1, I guess? Yeah. Okay, so the problem's got to be here. So this didn't trigger. Wait, how did this not trigger? It reset to 0. Concede in tournament brackets. We'll go to the tournament. Okay, on creation, this all fires. We set the enemy, we get the counter, and then we set it to -1. So it's absolutely should be global to enemy counter equals -1 during the fight. Global to enemy counter equals -1. Why did this not work? Show debug message. Global to enemy counter. Show debug message. Battle end. Okay, let's check out these enemy counters. Okay. Wait, that didn't read out at all, ever. Oh, because it's the timer. Wait a second, yeah. Right, that's the problem. This has to be in 2 spots, and I didn't put it in the second spot. Because where's the timer controlled? Probably the battle layout? Yeah, alarm 0. Because those battles are all timed out. Yeah, here, global.enemy counter plus equals 1. Okay, but stress is already modulated. Stress is already included, so it's really only the XP we need to deal with. And the gold. So stress is done. So that should fix that. Let's double check it, but let's also make a note here that stress is actually done. I guess there is a basic pass here already. Okay, I mean, I suppose, yeah, this is this. Okay. Fair. I actually might not fully implement stress and discipline because it's kind of not a thing. Alright. So what we want to do is we want to do this. Tournament. We want to go through this whole thing. We want to make sure the button turns off. Anything else we add on top of that is fine. We do that afterwards. The big thing is to make sure you can't repeat the fights. That is the goal. And then we want to see if you go back into the tournament and make sure that it's fully reset, which it should be. The musics do not mesh well. The combat music in the game versus the music we're listening to on stream are pretty jarring. Oh man, we're close. You lose. There's a quill stuck in my nose. Get away from me, demon! I lose! Oh god, the Thagomizer bleeding through. I took 3 spikes to the thigh. Ooh, nice headbutt. Nice headbutt. He's going desperate. Timer's running out. He's trying for his last push. We lost? Hey, okay, so the text for start battle still shows, but yeah. So that's not there. We go to ranch. We go to tournament. So this isn't reset. So the UI has to reset. But the rest of this seems to be reset. Okay. So we need to still reset UI, remove the battle text. These are both handled in the UI part of the battle lobby. Would I mind if you recommended a video to me? You could certainly recommend a video to me, that's fine. The thing is I may or may not watch it. I make no promises, but you could certainly throw it out there. Okay, so draw text. So we do here, we do if stat is 0, draw the text for start battle. Right? That's the same thing for the battle button functioning. If it's absolutely 0, yeah. Okay, so that works there, and then we got to reset the tournament UI stuff. So that is on the title. This is the tournament array. So this should be just wiped upon entering a tournament, basically. The enemy counter is already reset incorrectly. So we just go to ranch action. If tournament. Global tournament status, global tournament array. Stores tournament results, resets. So that's done. That's everything for that. Now we just need to put the actual reward part in. So I guess we go to the Yeah, let's do the lobby layout. You think it would be right up my alley? Well, go ahead. Throw it out there. The worst I can do is not watch it. So we want to do a draw text at like maybe 600, 500 with you got Xth place. You receive I can spell. You receive N bullion and XP. YouTube keeps censoring you? Damn. Won't let you share a link, huh? I need to figure out if I can do something about that. I forget. You can always throw out the title of the video. The unending obsession of animals fighting each other by the Unnatural History Channel. Okay. I'll pull it up right now on YouTube. Just in the search bar. So I can remember it. And we'll leave it open on a tab. Interesting. The search is not finding it if I do that. There we go. Okay. I have it pulled up, so I can look at it later if I feel like it. Power scaling gets a major deserved L. Good. Fuck power scaling. Now we gotta think about how to handle the XP gain here. The bullion is like whatever. We'll just do this. Just to make sure this works, and then we'll put this in the actual check. But, let's look at the XP situation. I believe... Add XP function. Target and XP. Show debug message. Target, if target is player, enemy... If level up. So if I do function.addXP, what if I put this here? Wait, why doesn't this work? Expected no per pound string. Oh, because I have the function. Oh my god. I had the function part left and right. Okay, if I do this now, Because I believe this is used explicitly only in the tournaments. Let's take a look at both of these little changes we made here. Okay, so we'll probably want to move that over a smidge. Boolean 920, hold on. Why did it go from 500 to 920? 500 to 587. Because setting an incremental value on a button push is bad. That's why. No, wait. Because it's a draw event on the lobby layout, and it's repeating infinitely. Yeah, you can't do this here. This is not a thing you can do. You can do it with a variable flag. Or just do it on the creation part? Yeah. Yeah. Right here. But the add XP thing didn't work. See me. $501 billion. Perfect. Okay. Level 3. Oh, it did work. Interesting. Because it's it was blocked by that button? Okay, so we have to add a flag to execute this on the map when we head back. Yeah. Okay, I know how to do it. So we go to this was it's not surprising this didn't work. To ranch. This doesn't matter. And then we go here. So in the lobby of the battle, we need a add flag for gained XP, add value of XP gained. Okay. But then, And let's check the text layout before we implement it the rest of the way again. That's pretty okay. X place, N billion, and XP. Perfect. We go to title stuff. We define at the up in the main section of variables. We define global dot tournament XP flag 0 global dot tournament XP amount equals 0. And we were level 3, we saw. Now, should we have been level 3? Target level equals +1. Levels with bonuses. Target level, target XP. If target XP is greater than target level times 100, level up. So this fired at least twice to level it up twice. So yeah, putting a function execution on a button push that doesn't immediately change like the room or location is dangerous because it doesn't happen. It happens multiple times. We know this. We ran into this with like attacks and shit. Okay. Global tournament XP flag is now set to 1. Global dot tournament XP amount set it to 100. Okay. And that's on creation. This only happens once. And yeah, if tournament status, then we get the victory message. You got whatever place. And we'll have to fill in the numbers, which will generate on the creation of the lobby, I guess. Add determination of rank and what that means for Boolean and XP. Okay. And then you have the ranch layout. So when the player returns to the ranch, and this is created, you do this. If the flag is 1, i.e. there is tournament XP to be gained, Add XP. Player, comma, global tournament XP amount. Then reset this to 0. Oops. And reset this flag to 0. Okay. And actually, let's go to the... Let's test this. Lobby layout. And we actually move this stuff outside as well for testing. We put this here. And now we run the game. And by entering and exit from the lobby, we should now level up. And if we level up, it's working correctly. And then we have to test the check later, but we'll test the check later, you know. Nice. Sick. Cool. Tested and working. So that should be it. Yeah, okay. So now we got to determine the actual values, which is going to use the... How do we do this again? Is it handled by the bracket object itself? This is just drawing text. That's not doing it. So it is handled by the layout. Under the draws? No. Oh yeah, it's handled here. Tournament array N. So I guess, yeah, we just for loop this way. But instead of it for looping over the array length, we just check the first 4 entries. For n equals 0 through 4. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so victory tally equals 0. And then we do the for loop for the first few entries of tournament array. So we'll just do victory tally plus equals tournament array n. And this should be 0. How did this work? If 1, you won. If 0, the fight hasn't happened. If it was 2, you lost. Well, that's awkward. Why did I do it that way? I know why I did it that way. No, that's fine. We can't do it that way, though, for the account. So we have to do the tallying slightly different. We do this. It's just simply an if check. If global tally array absolutely equals 1, the victory tally plus equals 1. So this is how many rounds you won. If victory tally absolutely equals 3, 2 and 1 and 0. $50, 100, actually should probably be more than this. 200, we'll double it. 400, 600. No, let's make it better. 50. How about this? No, it's too much. $1,110. That's brutal. Sure, 10, 100, and 1,000. Set the XP flag the same. And the XP amounts. And then we have the message. So let's make this. Copy this template. Attorney result. You got first place. You receive 1,000 gold bullion and XP. You got second place. You receive 100 billion. It's pretty... 100 per second is pretty rough. Let's do 500. 300. 500. We'll do the 100 here. 100 for a single win. 100, 500, 1,000. And we'll leave the XP amount alone. We'll do a more detailed calc. Alright, let's test it. Let's test the full thing here properly. We can even train a little bit first. You know, I realized Tier 2 Threat Display doesn't actually do that much because of the non-damaging move. It's pretty bad. Drain stamina, rush the opponent with horns, moving one range closer. Take Gore. I'm just going to spam HP training, I think, the whole time here. Rip and Tear, Bite, or Pierce. Inaccurate high crit feels bad. Low damage but high crit rate, or drains 10, shred your opponent, highly effective but expensive. I'll take Pierce. So I'm gonna, you know what, let's play, full playtest right now. So we're training bleed resistant. We know this is relevant. We'll take bleed resistant to counter the baryonyx. Stagger resist or hustle. I like hustle, I guess. Okay, how high can I raise my HP just spamming HP training every day? Yeah, my stress is like sky high. Reka's crit bleed. Start with 5 stamina, gain 5 defense every time damage is taken. We'll start with the extra stamina, that seems good. Osteoderms. I like osteoderms. Okay, we still have 150 bucks left. We can keep training. The game's lagging a little bit. Interesting. I wonder why that happened. Interesting. We probably have a memory leak somewhere here. I'm taking During. Okay, let me go to to-do list. Training memory leak, question marks? Yeah, because like he's lagging out. Which is strange. Okay, hunger 98%. Alright, we do one more training. And we do a rest. And then let's build up our dinosaur moveset. So moveset builder. This is not very good. This doesn't tell you the thumbnails or the effects, but Death Roll and Fish Hook shouldn't be there either. We could take Gore. Pierce over, like, Headbutt, maybe? Rake over Paralytic Bite? Also, HP 350 is crazy. Pierce might be pretty good. That's like decent stamina drain. Staying close makes sense here, I think. Okay, we won 70 to 43. I didn't do much damage there, unfortunately. We might want to hold off for a little bit. Does Gore not work? I didn't see the text. No, it does work. Maybe the timing could be such that we'd miss the outro or the dialogue. Got the bleed with Rake. Nice. Huge crit bleed. Huge value. Get the Pierce. Nice. Charge back in for him. Get him again with the Rake. No, we're out of stamina. We're out of stamina. We're winning. Just stall. Threat display. He's down to half. The plates are yellow. He's panicking. Look at him. We got him on the ropes. We got him on the ropes. He doesn't know what to do. He's panicking. He's going in for the big hits. He's not getting them. Last second kick on the buzzer. All right. We swept. You got first place. Receive 1,000 bullion XP. Bullion 950. Okay. Because we just fed our dinosaur at the exit of the tournament. That makes perfect sense. Looks good. We didn't get a level because we were already high level. Full playtest successful. Cool. Yeah, so HP gain, it was like insane value. Going in with like over 300 HP versus the base game like 100 or whatever, the untrained 100 is a huge difference. And I don't think training up damage in the same way would have the same outcome, but we should test it. But my gut feeling is I expect it to be unbalanced, which isn't shocking. Not trying to make any of this balanced anyway. Okay, so all that worked. The stress is already handled for victories. So we have I'm not going to even do discipline. I think it doesn't matter. Discipline is hard to do in the demo version anyway because it's a long-term build-up thing. It's not really viable in the demo per se. Done except for discipline. In life span hits. Too complex for simple demo slice. Live slice. Okay, and then let's look at the XP gain situation. So when we do the training, we have the scalable XP thing now. NXP, a function is HP. Mods NXP. So basically, what I'm thinking for the battle XP, it should basically be a base of 100. If you do a tournament at level 1, you probably should level up no matter what. Here's a problem. I don't have this function planned out. So we gotta think about this. So default initially is 100 XP. So this now becomes an XP everywhere here. Then we want to do something. Now, okay, maybe we initialize it at like 50 or something. Then we do NXP equals victory tally times the base. So 150, 100. We do NXP plus this. So this would make this 200 if you somehow swept this, which is sort of a problem. Actually, having a relatively flat amount of XP gain for battle is not that bad. I could just do this. 50 to 200, depending on victory. Yeah, let's just, yeah, let's do this. This is fine. We'll keep this XP count. We'll do it simple. Because the one is much more complex for attributes, because the XP gain from raising an attribute scales inversely to the value of the attribute you're raising. You get more XP for raising your weaker stats. Which is the point. This can be flat to compare to that, where XP scaling drops over time as you get to higher levels of stats, whereas the tournament is just flat in terms of the amount of XP gained, essentially. Oh, but I suppose 200... is a problem. Yeah. The code is not set up to deal with gaining multiple levels in a single swoop. So we can't do it that way. Which is fine. So we just set this to 25 base for the purposes of this. 25. Value has to start low because it's a problem if you gain more than one level at a time currently. Let's do it like this. We'll do this as 10. And then we'll do this as like 2 times victory tally and 4 times base. So 40 plus 0, 40 plus 20, 40 plus 40, and 40 plus 60 if you're first place. So 100, 80, 60, and 40 for XP game. You lost. You receive no bullion. $100. I should have put in the XP amount, which is what I was gonna do. That was part of the reason to copy pasting this, but now I just kind of fucked it. So we'll do it all manually. Second place. Lost third, second, and first. 1,500, 100. And string NXP. You're first, you receive 1,000 bullion and string NXP XP. Alright, that should be the game. That should be the slice done. Let's do another playtest. And then we'll wrap the stream up a little bit early tonight. Now, what if we crank damage? What if we crank evasion? Evasion and damage. Bite, tackle, or rake? Tier 2 charge? Seems good. Serrated teeth. Ooh, resist bleed always. Always take resist bleed for the demo. A long game. Tier 2 devour though. I want devour. Maybe this always was slow. Crits generate stamina seems great. Train our low stats a couple times. Tier 3 Devour, let's fucking go. Hell yeah. Alright, where are we at on stats? 114, 159, 109, 92, 142. I'll take threat display rank up. Wait, it's faster now. Weird. Okay, there's definitely some sort of like memory leak thing because it's inconsistent. Like spear. Oh, my stress is sky fucking high. An amount of money. Oh no! Okay. 163 damage, 159 evasion. We're going in. Moveset builder. We're taking spear. Let's put spear in over kick, and we'll put kick in the bottom slot. Then we're taking... We got devour ranked up. We got rake. Over headbutt, I think. But paralytic bite should be ranked up. Oh, that bugged out weirdly. Rake. Devour, paralytic bite, rake, spear, threat display, kick, charge, threat display. Alright, start the battle. Going for the spear. Nice spear. Let's get that devour in early. Big hit. That's rank 3 devour. I missed rake. We missed the snap. There's definitely, I think, a little bug with the cooldowns or something. Because I don't think those moves fired. Kick him to death! Yeah, it's not bug-free. There's some cooldown glitches. Interesting. I wonder if it's connected to the new attacks. The fuck? Is this a Pokemon song still, or did something weird happen? No, this is still Pokemon. What the fuck is this shit? Oh, we had health spec on the Carno. That's why the health gain was insane. Charge, paralytic bite, devour, threat display, spear, kick, and rake. Interesting that it's devour 1. Is that the bug? That might be the bug. Yeah, the spear cooldown kept going. It just looped. Yeah, the cooldown's continuing. Interesting. Look at that. Same with the rake. Yeah, we broke cooldowns, it seems. Every move can be used once. Interesting. Okay. Well, we got a new bug to squash. How much left to do before the alpha? Well, until I discovered that we broke cooldowns, we were done today. This was ostensibly the final playtest of the slice. But we have a bug where the cooldowns keep looping. Which is interesting. Not sure how I pulled that one off. I have a theory, though. See, kick is spammable. I think kick... Well, kick doesn't have a cooldown. That's why kick is spammable. Yeah. It's only broken with the moves that have cooldowns, actually. Second place, 500 bullion, 80 XP, go to ranch. Okay. Charge 2, Devour 3, right? Moveset Builder, Devour, Charge. Set Charge, Set Devour. See, these don't dynamically update to the extra ranks. Now Devour's the correct rank. Is this the bug? This might be the bug. This might explain why maybe everything broke. Nah, Spear's still looping. Okay. Okay. Image speed. If global.cooldown's name to app is 0, image speed is 0. So these continuously are looping. Because the cooldown is not 0. I have a theory. Old PC.cooldown's name too. So these are never hitting 0. And okay, I think I know the problem. I'm pretty sure I know what the problem is. The question is, where is it? Status handler, maybe? This is, I think, just the buffs. It must be layout that handles this? Stepwise. Here, name 2. Global.pc.attack list. Yeah, I think this is the problem. Dot splits. Because name 2 is redefined here. How were the AIs not attacking multiple times with the same move either? Oops. So this should be splitting by comma and taking entry 0. This should be the bug. I think. So attack list and cooldowns. Let's look at the enemy data. We fixed all this before, except for this cooldown bug, because we didn't notice it until now. So the title stuff should be correct for the enemies. So if it makes sense with what we see here. So attack list is with ranks. And the cooldowns are not. That's the bug. It should just be those 2 lines, and I think we're good. Right as the victory music kind of starts playing, huh? Okay, error. I have a syntax error, I guess, there. Okay, what's the syntax error? Error, unable to convert string charge, comma 1 to integer. Oh, oops. I did Python code. I did Python code. It's string split function. That's very funny. String split this thing by comma, and then take index 0. I've done that a few times in development here, where I just start writing Python code inadvertently. GameMaker is pretty similar to Python in terms of some syntax, which is why I sometimes fall into that trap. Python's also what I did most of my science work in. Alright, get in there. Charge. Yep, cooldowns work again. Cool. Okay, so that's great. Now we do another test run, but we level up and we put new attacks into our moveset. So let's just do this a couple times. Spear. And let's take a rank 2 attack. Threat display. Okay. And then we go to Dinosaur data, we go to moveset builder, we clear threat display because it doesn't know how ranks work. Threat display, and spear. Go to ranch, tournament, enter the tournament. Do a rank 2 threat display. Do a rank 1 spear. Okay, now we just sit back and wait. Do the cooldowns all work? Spear online, threat display online. It's fixed. And that's the game. The demo's done. Boy, I got fucked. Hold on, let's make sure this works internally. We devour? No, we don't. Well, charge again. Charge missed. Okay. Spear. Gonna try and spear again. Okay. I mean, it let us do it, so good. I'm content. I'm content. It's working. So, now we gotta reset to the starting configuration and undo all the player bonuses for testing. So, the player only gets kicked to start with. Is a freshly hatched creature. And no passives. All right, this is the true test run, the true demo experience now, without the extra handicaps. Discord messages real quick. Oh, that's not where I expected the Discord message it. That is that. Not the message I expected to see. Okay, so to start with, we want to train. So let's look at our dinosaur. We have 106 HP, 136 damage, 113 defense, 81 accuracy, and 99 evasion. Our growth rates, 7 on damage, 4 on HP, 4 on defense. So leaning into those at the expense of accuracy evasion, if we want to min-max our growth, makes the most sense. So let's do that. We're going to do HP, damage, defense. So, range near, range mid far, range near. I want a near attack, so I want pierce or bite. Inaccurate, which seems dangerous with our low accuracy score. Low damage, high crit, pierce maybe is the way to go. Then I'm going to do damage 3 times. 1, 2... Headbutt is near. Jawlock is near. I'm going to take... I'll take the headbutt. Damage. Rest, rest. HP. I like the extra stamina. Damage. Defense. Damage. Bite is another near. Challenging roar is a far. Staggers, but 33 cost is crazy high. But it's a large stamina drain. It's pretty good. Oh no, I don't like it. I'll take bite. Rake. Rend or threat display. We got mid-tier Rend. I think I'll take the mid-Rend. Small amount of damage and bleed for 8 seconds. Sure. Paralysis, horn attacks with serrated teeth. I think I already have a few bites, because I have bite and I have rend. We can do a bite build. So we'll do a bite build. Crits generate extra stamina. Ooh, bites have a chance to extend bleeds. Yeah, bite build. Let's go bite build. Leveled up. Spear is mid. Damage training gives an additional 1 point and to generate less stress. Or we get Devour, though. I like Devour. Okay, $100 left. Frame rate's chugging. We definitely got a memory leak here, which is very funny. Okay, looking for that level up. There it is. Rip and Tear, Roar, or Charge. I like Charge. Alright, moveset builder. So, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 7 tier 1 attacks and 3 tier 1 passives. We're looking for bites, mostly. So, Bite, Rend. We want Devour. Charge is our only far attack. Headbutt or Pierce. We'll take Pierce. Then, yeah, kick here. So that's our moveset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 unused attack. Entering the tournament. Starting the battle. We're going to go for the bites. So let's get in there. Let's go for the Rend. Nice bleed. Alright, let's chill. Everybody's bleeding here. I'm taking a lot. I gotta get this Devour in. That's pretty bad. It's looking pretty rough. Looking rough out here for our boy. We actually don't have that much HP now because we don't have the scammy ass bonus. Let's see if we can push him in and then push him away. Get back, you fucker. Yeah. Go for the Devour. No. Nope. Demo's going to be pretty hard to actually beat, which is fun. Going for the Rend. And the Bite. Nice bleed again on the Iggy. That's solid. Took a Quill. Console popped up. Why did that pop up? Interesting. Nice Rend, but we're fucked. We're losing. Okay, so why did this console pop up in the middle here? Yeah, not sure what happened there. There's no readouts in like the output. Let's check that Bite actually works. Yeah, Bite hits. Landed a bleed 3. And another bleed bonus from the Bite, it looked like. From the Devour. Oh man, he's bleeding so much. He's not doing much to us either. He's having bad luck. He's getting utterly destroyed, dude. Just try to get a little extra damage there with the kicks. 6 HP. We get the KO? No. We win 94-3. God damn. Third place, 100 billion, 60 XP, returning to ranch. Why is this up here, this overlay? I must have hit something to open this accidentally. I don't know how I did that. Yeah, this is what popped up. This is the same readout I see in the other window. Huh. So I must have hit something to bring up the console view, debug view. Interesting. Well, I wanted to see where we were at here in the end. So we had 234 damage, 121 HP, 136 defense. And we still got pretty trounced. Unfortunately. We have $100 though, so we can actually train and go back in. Let's replace Bite, the new rank. Bite missed. Landed the Ren for a bleed. Okay. Devour missed. Rough. We were doing good. Okay, I got the Ren bleed back up again. He's spamming, he's desperate. Can we get Pierce off here before the end, maybe? Nice Pierce! Oh, we still lost by 5% HP. Alright, that's fine though. Okay, cool. Alright, that's it. That's the game. That's the demo. That's the vertical slice. You can enter tournaments multiple times. All the level up systems are in place, with at least the preliminary version. All the debug type shit's been reverted to base start position. So that's going to be the end of the stream. We end slightly early tonight. Yeah, so maybe we won't do these next week. Maybe we'll do some Minecraft or something. I need to figure out who I talk to about this now. And I know who I talk to about this now. I need to find out when I can talk to him and see where we want to go. So, yeah, until next time, I guess. A successful